Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
I'm going to finish up with these NSA callers. Sorry you didn't get a chance to talk to William Binney, but we ran out of time. And then we're going to get the callers back on. Open the phones back up who wanted to talk about to impeach or not to impeach. You just heard William Binney, who headed up one of the 4 divisions of the NSA. He was technically number 4 in the NSA, saying we have the intelligence agencies running and controlling the government. And those intelligence agencies are all run by Skull and Bones, Harvard, Yale, Oxford, Princeton systems. And they're globalist eugenicists. And I'm going to explain this to everybody again. My father was top of his class, and then they tested 150 or something, I forget, Texans. And then he was in the top 6 or so when he was in high school. And he was brought into UT. And they brought him in and basically said, this is a secret eugenics program. You're going to be part of the ruling class, whole 9 yards. And my dad never even really told me that till I was making Endgame. And my mother was watching it at the office and said, I don't believe this. And then suddenly my dad just spilt his guts because he was never part of it. Growing up, we had all the Brzezinski books and everything around the house. I just knew all this by osmosis. He would tell me how the world really ran. But it's not that my dad, out of 200 million people back in 1965, was Superman or something. It was they were scooping everybody up. And I've had experts from Congress, you name it, from the Frank Church Committee on to break this down. Since the 30s, they've been scooping up, mainly British intelligence, all of the smartest people, all of the people they can get a hold of, and putting them in British front groups. And I want to be clear. I am Welsh. I probably have more English blood in me than any of the other Heinz 57 I am. A ton of German, Alsatian, French, Scotch, Irish, Native American. I mean, it's in there. But so I'm not bashing the British people. It's the model developed by British intelligence. And they set up the first NSA. The Nazis were so naive, they didn't think the British could listen to every phone call. They were listening to every phone call of the Nazis and were able to roll them all up and beat them very quickly. People go, well, see, spying's good. British intelligence put Hitler in charge. See, that's declassified. They didn't run Hitler. They funded him. David Rockefeller's granddad, John D. Rockefeller, funded Hitler. I mean, that's in Pulitzer Prize-winning books. So, I mean, think of the evil. To create Hitler so you can set up a police state to counter him to sell free people on being slaves. Create Al-Qaeda, protect them, let them attack you so you can set up a police state. See, it's the same deal. And I know it's simple for our listeners to understand. The general public still goes, why would Obama want to shut down power plants and increase the prices? I mean, he wants money. No. They control the printing of the money. They want to only let General Electric and 2 other companies have power plants. That makes them more money. But it's about consolidating power. It's about control. Control. Control over free will. And if you control the energy from like a children's TV show from the 80s, I will get the Energon cubes, Megatron. What do the Decepticons want? They want energy. They want control of the energy. What's the number one, if you did an equation for human life, you need, or plant life, or any life? Energy. Energy. And that's why I keep going back to this power plants being shut off, or the borders being wide open. They want to destroy our free will and our capacity to live. We're going to come back and take your phone calls from Wes, George, Jared, Mike, Fred, and many others. 800-259-9231. When you get a chance, call in. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Alex Jones here for Infowars.com. In the month of July, we have got giant specials on everything at MadeIn1776.com. The already discounted Made in 1776 t-shirts are only $17.76. We have the new belt buckles that in only 2 weeks of sale are very close to selling out. There's only 500 of each. We're talking about Made in America belt buckles in nickeled brass. This is more than a summer blowout special. This is a new declaration of independence. But to expand the InfoWar, we're offering the equivalent of more than 5 months free right now when you get a membership at PrisonPlanet.tv for a limited time, only $39.95 a year. That's more than 5 months free off the regular price. Not just this July 4th weekend, but the entire month of July at MadeIn1776.com. Molon Labe, you can take my gun from my cold, dead hands.
City of Austin tap water versus filtered City of Austin tap water.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered with the ProPure G2.0 filtration system.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing.
Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
The ProPure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water.
Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today. Use promo code WATER and save 10% off your ProPure purchase. Or call 1-888-253-3139.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox Special at InfoWarsLife.com.
His name?
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly. I order all those assembled to immediately disperse.
It's a military mission in North St. Louis. Heavily armored vehicles are rolling into town.
And don't be alarmed if you see those over the next 7 days rolling through your neighborhood.
If you see military helicopters flying low over Minneapolis, do not be alarmed.
Guns will be taken. No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in.
Just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
Enough. 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 Enough.
The Department of Homeland Security is apparently on a huge ammo buying spree.
It comes out to like 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition.
And as KSLA News 12 Jeff Farrell discovered, the clergy would help the government with potentially their biggest problem. Us.
So part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
If you got a business, that you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
Mercury-containing vaccines may help, not harm kids, according to 2 new studies in the journal Pediatrics.
Black Hawk choppers soaring through the night sky, but this is only a drill.
Heavily armed officers in Watertown search for the suspect, house to house.
It's a joint military training exercise involving local police, also military.
In your apartment! I am in my apartment, sir.
Go back inside right now!
I am inside. I have 2 words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming.
The dramatic scene played out in front of our cameras. Parents grabbing their children and running after spending the night hunkering in their houses and then finding themselves face to face with the muzzle of a SWAT officer's rifle.
They let them in the area. They told them they could come in, and now they're coming in like they're trespassers, punching and shoving people.
We're not turning our guns in, and we're not running, and we're not backing down. If you want them, come and take them.
We are on the march. The Empire is on the run. Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
There is no doubt that we have a high-tech tyranny run by illegitimate foreign banks that has converted local and state police basically into federal arms of that globalist conspiracy against free humanity. And Eisenhower warned us of that, and we are now sitting face-to-face with it. And it's not staying stagnant. It is growing exponentially, and it will destroy the way of life, the prosperity, and the freedom of basically everyone in this nation. Even if you play along that you're part of the system, you're not. William Binney, number 4 at the National Security Agency, there over 30 years, known as one of the greatest living cryptographers and code breakers out there, who fought the Stasi, the NKVD, and the KGB for 30 years, plus, says the whole thing's turned in for industrial espionage and the takeover of America, and that the intelligence agencies run the government and have corrupted the whole government and are blackmailing the whole government. And he witnessed it and quit, but he can't tell us because of, quote, national security laws what he knows. He'd have to run to another country. And he's sure ain't going to run to Russia. They don't like him. And that's why I was at Barton Springs last fall on a warm, sunny day while my children were in front of me swimming. And I was listening to 3 men and 3 women. They all look like they're about 30 years old, 32, 33. They were all leaving being police officers locally. They didn't even say Austin. They were just cops. Back and finished college, and were all going to work at the NSA in San Antonio. They built a giant center there in the last few years and one in Utah. And they were arrogantly laying around in the sun like they had announced they just won the Indy 500 and that they were, you know, Senna or something, that they just won Formula One World Championship. They were Mario Andretti. I've done some pretty amazing, famous things, and I don't lay around in the sun going, they were like, yeah, I'm not going to be a cop anymore. I'm going to go work at the NSA. Yeah, I just got accepted in San Antonio. Oh, great. I bet you see a lot of... And they were bragging about spying on people. And my kids are swimming, and I went over and I said, get your stuff, get out in a few minutes, we're going to go. And I said, meet me over there on the other side, I'm going to have your stuff. So I don't want them to be there when I did this. And I walked over very politely but very seriously. And I said, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You watch all these Hollywood movies where spies are all glorified and everything, and you know, you think you're real super sexy, and their wives were all cops going to work for the data mining as well. They were all just bragging. The women all had their nails, and they were all, you know, shaking their butts. I mean, they were just getting off on it like it was a status thing. And I looked at them all, and I said, this country's going to fall. This stuff's being put in to bring the nation down. The pension funds, everything are going to be taken. It's already being done in other countries. And I said, when it's all said and done, people like you, even if you don't get brought to justice, are going to know you ruined this country and you aided and abetted its destruction. And they look scared, and they should be. Not scared of me, because I'm there telling them that the judgment's coming. Made me want to vomit. It was a friend playing, Weldon was playing at the Driscoll, old Cattleman Hotel downtown a few months ago, and he invited me down there. He and his wife did. So I went down there after work